Who is John Holbrook?
I'm God's child, man. I grew up in Compton, California in South Central LA. And my second great-grandmother was a slave on my mother's side. She owned her own home with no mortgage on it. She had a boarder, which means she had somebody that she rented to, another slave. She had a little side business, knitting, which my mother ultimately picked up through osmosis. She was a self-made woman. My second great-grandfather, George Young on my father's side, answered the call of Abraham Lincoln, the Emancipation Proclamation, and he was enslaved, and he went and left slavery and became one of the 7,000 officers in the Black Union troops, protecting people who weren't protecting him in Memphis, Tennessee. That was social justice. So my second great-grandfather was a slave, fighting for justice for those not fighting for him, but being a role model for others. My grandfather was a sharecropper, and my daddy was a businessman, and I'm an entrepreneur. My second great-grandmother was a slave. My grandmother owned a shotgun shack in East St. Louis, taking care of her children. My mother owned 7 homes. I own 700. I'm not a genius. I'm just role modeling, and I know my history. And I know that God don't make dirt. I know that God made all of us brilliant and amazing, and we can do anything we set our minds to. So I'm a living testimony that you can go from the bottom quartile of poverty, which is where I was in Compton. I was homeless when I was 18 years old for 6 months of my life. I saw 2 murders before I was 9, including my best friend and the guy who saved my life when I was 7. My mom and dad divorced over money when I was 4 or 5. Domestic abuse, my dad hitting my mother. That's not somebody's story, it's my story. And so I sit here as a testimony that you can go from the bottom quartile to the top 0.1% in income and in wealth legally.